What's up guys, it's your DustClicker dev, Dan, and today I'm going to be doing a quick little tutorial series on how to make a basic little autoclicker. I'm not going to do a tutorial for every feature out there, but I'm definitely going to do a general autoclicker if you want to learn how to make it in .NET, aka C#. Alright, first things first, let's get Visual Studio 2019. You're going to need .NET Framework, so figure out how to install that. I'll leave some links in the description to help you guys out. Alright, let's create a new project. Our project is going to be in Framework. Just select Windows Forms. To do that, just go Windows Forms, App, and select Framework. Alright, our name is going to be Tutorial Clicker. Change that name to whatever you really want. Just in this case, I'm going to be doing that. Alright. First step, first things first. Let's set it to a size we want. So I'm going to do 420 by 300. Oopsies. 420, 300. It's a nice little size. Let's change the title. Tutorial clicker. That's what it'll show up like that in Task Manager as well. So if you want to kind of disguise it a little bit, make sure to change the namespace and tutorial clicker, the little text at the top there. I'm going to go with my color theme that I've been using in my other programs. Hit the back color with a 50-50-50. Looking pretty sleek. And for the cool little GUIs, you guys want to head to Project, Manage NuGet Packages. Once that loads, alright, there we go. So we're going to search for Citizen. And what is going to appear is a Citizen desktop UI. You're going to going to want to hit install, and once you hit install, click OK, click accept, and install it. I will not be using this as I have a optimized DLL that does not pop up with all these licenses and stuff. Anyway, so I got my real Citizen, I swear, real Citizen, not cracked. First thing you want to do, once that's installed, Citizen should be there, but first thing you want to do, add a little title. Text, let's make it Tutorial Clicker. Let's make that a bit bigger. Did I just click? Yeah, I did. Let's make that 16 maybe. Set that to a nice little full color. I'm going to go with, let's go with peach. Is that a color? No, it's not. I'm going to go with a cool little orangey. Let's have a look, see. Light salmon. Alright, that's not as incredible as I was originally expecting. But anyway, let's add another label actually. Let's make the subtitle, copy and paste that. Set that size to a good old 10-ish. Let's change the text. This text will be left. This will be above our slider. Left click CPS. And make that in line. And for our slider, we are going to use a trackbar, a Citizen trackbar, because this is the Windows. Wait, this is the Windows one. Looking terrible. This is Citizen's looking a bit better. I'm going to use a Metro trackbar, however, because I like the little stripe instead of the circle. All right, let's change that foreground color. What do we have? Salmon. No, it's not salmon. This is a keyboard I'm not used to, so try not to blame me. I actually like salmon better than light salmon, so don't know why I'm emphasizing the L's there. Anyway, we're going to hit our slider down here. Tutorial clicker, left click slider, beautiful. That T looks like it's offset even though it's not. Anyway, so we're going to add a fill color. Let's add that to offset our background. Let's give it 60-60-60 or 80-80-80, so it's evident that there's a slider there. And we're going to set our maximums, our minimums and our maximums. Maximum is going to be 20. Our minimum is going to be at least 6 to have a good randomization feature. This value should automatically update, however, let's have it at 10. Now, we want a little text at the end of our trackbar, giving us the actual value of the trackbar, because that did not come with it, because that's free software. It's not actually free, but it's still bad. Anyway, 10. That is our default value. As I set before, this is 10. If you don't get it, value 10. That's the value there. That's the default one. However, we want let's rename it to CPS value. And here we want this name to be CPS trackbar, and we want this to update whenever this is scrolled. So just feel free to double click that trackbar, and we want CPS trackbar value, CPS value dot text. We want it to equal the trackbar's value, trackbar dot value, and you want it to be a string, as CPS value's text is also a string. So you want a toString, tuck some brackets in there. Boom. So now, see this? Whenever we scroll through this trackbar, it should update our text. Goodness me, looking beautiful, looking fine. Let me tell you that much. If you want, you can add a little plus CPS if you feel so inclined, and that won't show CPS on default, but like that, you can add a little space key's a bit broken at the moment. 10, put CPS there. Alright, so now whenever we scroll it, it shall say 6 CPS, 19, 20 CPS, like that. Looking pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. Now, we're gonna need some DLL imports for this. So give me 2 seconds, I'm gonna get up my little notepad, and these DLLs will be in the description. Alright, I got my notepad up with my DLL imports. So, as I said, these will be in the description. First thing we're going to need this. We're going to need our good old GetForegroundWindow. If there is an error at DLL import, just hit Alt Enter, or the alternative, I think it's Alt Dot, something like that. Make sure you're using runtime interrupt services, and there should be no errors there. We're also going to need DllImport FindWindow. Slap that in there. Looking good, and 4 keybinds in the future. Just going to add it now for future proofing. We are going to need, sorry about a little bit of spam there, get async key state being the keyboard key state. So if B is clicked, it'll equal 1. Anyway, that's all we should need for now, but if we do need them in the future, I will add more. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, yes, of course, we need one more. My bad. We will need PostMessage, which will send a click to the designated window. Alright, next step in all this. We're going to need to make an Autoclicker timer. A timer will click at every increment, so I'm going to hit it'll do code at an increment, it won't just click automatically. I'm going to name the Autoclicker. Leave that all as the same. We'll be changing the interval by programmatically later. So, we also need to add a toggle button. So, almost forgot to do that. Let's add a silicon button. Looking pretty nice. Make it like that, I guess. Let's give it a name. Our name will be btn toggle, lowercase to upper. And our fill color, when it is disabled, will be 80, 80, 80. And when it is disabled, the text will be enable, because when you click it, you want to enable it. You get me? And when it is checked, we will want the fill color to be salmon. That is not salmon. And we will want it, who doesn't want a nice little anno? Oh, it is animated already, sweet. So now if we click it, oh, I haven't actually enabled it. So, upon button toggle click, if the text already contains, if it already contains enable, then you want to set it to disable, right? Because we want it to toggle, and when it is toggled, we want it to say disable. However, if it says, let me just copy this because I'm lazy. If it says disable, we want to enable it. When in reality we're disabling it, if you know what I mean, because when we click it, it'll disable. And when this text is changed, so we want to head to this little lightning bolt. This is events. Hit A to Z. It's easy to find stuff. And when the button's text is changed, this will be important later. Future proofing again for keybinds, which will be in another episode. When the text is changed, if it is changed to disable, meaning if it's toggled on, let's just have that little disable there, we want to start our Autoclicker. Not clear. And else, if it is anything else, there's a mozzie in my way. What's a mosquito? Mosquito. We want to stop the Autoclicker. Stop. And we will also need to add another little item here. Oh, let's change this foreground text. Let's make it, when it is not toggled, let's have the full color salmon. There we go. And when it is then toggled, we want the full color. Full color is equal to color dot from ARGB. We'll just flip the colors, so we'll put mosquito. Oh no, we don't want that. We want 80, 80, 80. And so when it is disabled, dot salmon. So now if we click it, it shall go doop 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 doop. Oh no, we forgot the fill color. So when the text, we want a button toggle dot fill color equal color dot salmon, and vice versa. So we want it to flip around. So now if we click it, it should toggle and toggle, 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 and that should start the Autoclicker and stop the Autoclicker, as exampled here. Alright, next step, we need to add another timer. This time we'll be calling the timer random, enabled, let's just start it as enabled. Random doesn't use too many resources. Set the interval 150, just a bit of optimization. Alright, on this random tick, we need to check if the clicker is disabled. So if we want button toggle dot text dot contains, if it is enabled, meaning the text is disabled, you with me? Whoop, wrong thing there. If it is, oopsies. There we go. If it's enabled, meaning the text is disabled, we want to set our int min, int max, make some new variables. We want our min to equal the left mouse button trackbar. Let's name this CPS trackbar, that's it. CPS trackbar, or more like tracker bar, whatever you want to call it, trackbar dot value. We want our minimum to be that minus 6 CPS. We want our maximum to equal CPS trackbar value dot value to plus 6, just like that. And then we want to start a new rand. Let's make a new, not error, new random. Let's get a new random, and this is the fun part. We get to duplicate this track bar. However, put this down the bottom. Our first thing we need to do, turn visible off. Now, our minimum and maximums need to be at least 6 on each end, more or less than the original values. So this, let's just make it 30 to be safe, this to be 0. And so now, this is the fluctuation, by the way. Now we need to change this track bar. Let's give it a name. So I'm going to just make it yes. Ooh, actually let's make it, just to keep track, random track bar. I'm going to change random tb.value is equal to, we want to make a rand.next, which picks random number between two values, min and max. So select between the minimum and max and set that value to minimum maximum. To show this, I'm just going to enable it again, make it visible. You don't have to do this. I'm going to show you what I mean. So if it's enabled, it'll then fluctuate the CPS. And so this is the CPS the click will actually be clicking at, random, so it actually looks like it's real clicking. Fluctuate it based on this, which is really nice. This is good. If it was to click just like this, it would be a constant 10 or a constant 60, 16, and it just would not be at all realistic, and we get picked up straight away. Alright, that should be it for our random. Next step is to work on our Autoclicker. So this is the big guns. Let's get our Autoclicker tick event. Just double click your timer, double click it, bring you to this event, or create it. Private void. Alright, so the fun part. Let me just have a look at this. Give me a little reminder. Alright, so we want to try to set the interval, the delay, the thing I was looking at before, this thing, that interval. We want to set the interval to 1000 milliseconds a second divided by the random trackbar's value. That's not a, don't need that. So this will divide the second into how many clicks in that second increments, if you know what I mean. It took me a while to get my head around it because I'm not the smartest guy around. Except once I figured it out, it's nice and easy. Just going to add a catch there because every try needs a catch. I'm not going to bother with a catch though because there shouldn't be that many of a problem. There shouldn't be a catch if you made your minimums at least 6 on either side and your maximums. Alright, so if the clicker is toggled, so if text dot, this is just a double check. So if it contains disable, meaning it's toggled, we get to start focusing Minecraft. So I'm going to boot up Minecraft in the background here, Lunar to show that it bypasses, but we'll not int. We'll be creating an IntPtr variable called hWnd. That's just a window name. So we'll be finding the task's title, this task's title, and we'll be assigning it to that variable. That variable will then be used to send this task clicks and nothing else, making sure that it is only Lunar that is receiving clicks. Alright, to do that, we're going to need to use process, which is an import. We will need to do that in system.diagnostics. We need to add these two brackets and continue. So processes, assign a little variable. Process.getProcess by name. We want to look for the processes Java W because that is what the process is running. Alright, for each of these processes, we want to scan these processes. For each process, process in processes, that's up here. For each of the processes that have Java, we need to FindWindow, which is a DllImport we did before. Check for null, doesn't really matter. Process.main window title. Main window title. So now this will assign the process with ID Java W to hWnd variable to make sure we can send clicks to Lunar client and Lunar client only. And we're also going to have to add our own little string going on here. So we're going to type public string, give it a name, get active window name. So we're going to find the current window and get its name. This is to make sure that it only checks mouse button if Lunar is focused, because otherwise we'd be clicking outside but it'll still be sending clicks to Lunar. So if I was clicking here, if I was holding down left click, it'd still be auto clicking at Lunar. So we're making this to check if Lunar client is open. Alright, we're going to spit it in try here. Make a var, activated handle, not Daddle. I wish I had one. I'm kidding, by the way. Activated handle, get foreground window. Boom, beautiful. Don't know why this is going on. Oh yeah, just let me finish. Goodness me, these errors are a bit pesky. Alright, gonna do very similar to what we did down there. very similar little thing. Processes equal to process capital P. Get processes. It's going to get all the processes for each. This is going to be identical, almost at least. Process, make a new variable, process in processes. Process and process, scan all the processes. If this activated handle, this here, that's a uppercase A there, activated handle, cl process.active handle, main window handle, my bad, main window handle, chuck in some squiggly brackets there. If the main window handle is the activated handle, we want to set the string process name to cls process.processName, and we want to return process name, and we want to have a catch on the try because all tries have catches, and we want to return null if not applicable. Just put double equals there. That's a human error on my behalf. Now we want to scroll back down to our Autoclicker. Next step, we're going to get that string current window, assign the active window name to it, which we just coded then. If is equal to none, current win is equal to null, double equals, no slash. If is equal to null, and then we want to stop the tick. So if current window, if the active window name is nothing, meaning if we're alt tabbing like this, it'll equal null, right? So we want to stop the tick if we are alt tabbing. Otherwise, we just keep going, we get a groove on. If the current win, if it contains Java, meaning if it contains Lunar client is the focused window, we can start a clicker here. So if mouse buttons equals mouse buttons dot left, if the mouse button left is held down, we want to post a message. Oopsies. What is going on here? What is the error? What have I done wrong? Oopsies. Double equals yet again. Alright. If the mouse button left is held down using a DllImport that we've already done, we want to post a message to hWnd, blah blah blah, right here. The process title is running Java, which would be Lunar client. We want to send a left click, which I believe is left click down, which I believe is 0x0201. Slap 2 zeros in there to finish the statement. Not too. There we go. We want to make this async as well. So chuck async before void. Now we can add an await task.delay. So excuse my typing, this keyboard is getting on my nerves. And we want to send a mouse lift as well. So this is the gap between you clicking and you releasing your mouse button. And this is just 202. Alright, now this should send clicks to Lunar. Let's have a look-see now. Let's set our clicker to 14, hit enable, and boom, we got an Autoclicker running at fluctuations between, let's have a look at 18. Yeah, 18 CPS. Beautiful. And then it's sending to only Lunar. So if I was to hold click here and enable this, I'm going to do this. If I was, yeah, just hover at the menu. If I was to hold click here, it would not click in Lunar. If I click here, it does not click in Lunar. As you can see, I can drag and select stuff. So there we go. Working Autoclicker. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you learnt stuff, because this is the way I learnt YouTube tutorials and unpacking people's EXEs. But I hope I helped, and I'll be continuing this series, and next episode we will be adding keybinds. This is the end of episode 1. Thank you all for coming.